I made a video about Japanese some days ago, and I think that video is a real mess, so I'm making another. I have this mind map here, and it's basically a roadmap on how to learn Japanese. So I will just describe it as I go through it. First, how to learn Japanese. The first thing I recommend you doing is read Agent and Refold.la. Both are kind of some kind of documentary about the journey of two guys learning Japanese. And these guys explain everything they did and how they did and what things they tried to learn Japanese and what it went good and what went bad. So I really recommend checking out iJat and Refold before doing anything. If you are interested in learning other languages, you can also check Refold. iJat is all Japanese all the time, so it's just for Japanese, but it has a lot of concepts that you can apply in other languages. Uh, the second step is you start by learning the alphabets. Japanese has three alphabets: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Uh, the ones you should learn first are hiragana and katakana because hiragana and katakana are phonetic alphabets, are the alphabets that you can know how the words pronounced. Uh, Japanese has a lot of symbols, and these symbols have a meaning, but they also have a phonetic, a way to spell them properly. And to know the spell of a symbol, you have to know hiragana and katakana that are the phonetic alphabets of Japanese. So I recommend you starting learning Japanese by learning both hiragana and katakana. And you can do that by using the Duolingo app and also through videos on YouTube. YouTube has a lot of videos, children's videos, kids videos about learning hiragana and katakana. It is just music showing a symbol and the phonetics below them. It is really easy, and I'll try to put some images in the screen. So, third thing, after learning hiragana and katakana, you can already read the language, but you don't understand nothing. To start understanding, you have to pick a material, pick a short text or anything like that, and you have to make this incomprehensible material comprehensible. And how to do that? Let's suppose you pick a short text. You have to pick this text, and you have to go word by word, translating each word. And after translating which word, you have to search why these words connected make this phrase. And by going through a lot of texts, you get the grammatics of the language slowly and naturally, and also vocabulary because you'll be translating each word. So you acquire vocabulary as you go. I have recommendations right in here in the Mighty Map. The Lingiki, there's a website from Steve Coffin. There's the NHK Learn Japanese. There's a Japanese newspaper, and it has a section to Japanese learners. And it don't just have a short text, but it also has conversations, and you can also learn hiragana and katakana in the NHK section. You also have the Todai app. That is a newspaper app in Japanese, and it has news a section by like Japanese level, like easy, medium, hard, and this kind of stuff. Uh, I think the best is maybe NHK, probably. So you have to read a lot of text in Japanese for some amount of time until you have a good foundation in Japanese. I would say about 500 words is a good foundation. 500 words and probably basic of grammatics. Like you have to know what articles is. And I think with 500 words, you can start listening to Japanese. It is an important step in your learning because listening, it help you understand the spoken language, and also it will help you understand the more informal Japanese. Because when you're speaking, you don't connect all the phrases you say. You say small phrases, and you don't usually complete your thoughts, like your argument. You speak one part of your argument, and then you speak the next part, and it's not usual to like complete phrases in spoken language. So you have to get used to that. And to listen to Japanese, you can do a lot of things. What I did is go into the Animelon website, and this website has a lot of animes with Japanese, English, hiragana, katakana, subtitles. So, and you also have English and Japanese dictionary. So, if you don't want to like go to English word to understand the Japanese word, you can go to Japanese dictionary and learn the word by Japanese itself. That's another thing I didn't say here in my map, but it's a step you can take. Optionally, it's not mandatory, but you can take. When you start listening to Japanese, you can choose to change your dictionary to Japanese and just Japanese instead of using a bilingual dictionary like English to Japanese, Japanese to English. I would say it is important, but it's not mandatory, and you can learn Japanese without going through like just Japanese dictionary. It can help a lot, but I wouldn't say it's mandatory. So it's a recommendation. When you start listening, I really recommend you doing is start using a native Japanese dictionary. It'll be hard, probably in the first month. It'll be really, really hard. But when you get used to that, you learn a lot of vocabulary, and you don't need another language to understand Japanese. So if you are in real life and you don't understand a word, you can ask for a Japanese person that spoke that word. What is it? You get used to asking for people the meaning of words and understanding the meaning by what the people say. So it's really useful. I really recommend you doing that, but it's not mandatory if you're having a lot of struggles. I would say you are trying to change the dictionary before the moment you should. I recommend you trying after some months. Um, but if you just can't change your dictionary to native Japanese, you can keep the bilingual dictionaries and you should be fine. So after doing the listening, many hours of listening, many hours of listening, and get used to the language and watching content without Japanese subtitles, you can start speaking. By this moment, you should already be speaking. You should be able to speak at least. Maybe you're speaking is slowly. Maybe you like get stuck, like creating phrases or remembering phrases. But if you are able to speak, it is already good. Uh, and if you want to improve, speak faster, and to remember more phrases, you have to do two things. The first thing is keep listening. You have to keep watching content in Japanese, and you also have to speak. If you don't speak, you never get used to speaking in another language. So you have to implement some kind of way to speak in Japanese in your daily basis. You can think in Japanese. You can go to Italki. There's a lot of apps that you can talk to natives. You can you can go gaming with Japanese people. You can go to Japan. I don't know, but